Where some students, for whatever reason, I was having problems pulling it up myself. I had their tax return, I was typing in the information exactly, and it wouldn't pull up. And for anybody who's having problems, David Martinick, that's our, our Fed guy from the Department of Education. He said till July the 15th, we will accept those tax returns if you have them. Your 1040s to July the 15th.
So Brian, you need to give me that in.
Okay. After that, it has to be tax transcript, which will cause a delay. So, but most of our students have been able to use the data between the 2 and 4. Okay. So make sure that all documentation that we request for, a lot of you have already start bringing it in, which is awesome because most students, this has never happened before this early, that's great. But you need to have it in before July the 15th as well, because you have only a month before the fall semester starts after that. And we need at least a month to process. When you're getting, let's say each of us, our workload is like 500 students a piece or so. That's a lot of students to go through. So we need at least a month for processing. So once you get that email from us, if you're a student out here, we have sent you, a notification letting you know what we need from you. Verification form, tax transcript, or whatever, marital status form. Make sure you give that to the financial aid office before July the 15th. Because we can't just, as soon as you give it to us, you award that doesn't happen. It's a process. If you're chosen for verification, there's things that we got to check to make sure that your information is accurate on your FAFSA. Okay? That's why we always say allow at least 4 weeks for processing. That's for everything. A lot of students will turn it in. Well, I turned it in yesterday, well, how much I'm going to keep you? It doesn't work that quick, okay? So once you get that into us, we can get the ball rolling. When we award you, how do we notify you?
Email.
That's right. Everything is email. Check your email. It will be award notification saying that you have been awarded, and you can check your award letter through your web advisor. I'm getting a lot of phone calls where students are seeming not to understand the award letter. It's to us it's simple, but just read your header. Fall, spring, summer. Fall, you go down that column and you'll see how much you're getting for the fall. Spring, go down that column, see how much you're getting for the spring. You're not going to get all your award in one lump sum. Some students actually come and they think, I've been awarded $10,000 for a year. They think in the fall I'm going to get $10,000. Yeah. I've had some students say, well, I got to get my truck. I told someone I was going to go and pick up a truck. I'm supposed to get $10,000. That's not going to happen either. We all know that you get awarded, one semester at a time. Because how does the government know you're going to be here in spring? We know you're here right now, but we don't know if you're going to be here for the spring, so that's how that works. One semester at a time. That's how you're awarded, okay? Once you are awarded, on registration day, you know what you do. You go and you charge your books and your tuition. Does anybody know how tuition is determined? How is tuition determined?
By the income.
No, tuition. How much?
What are the classes? What are the courses?
How many credit hours?
Do
you know someone just chewed me out about 2 weeks ago because her tuition was $899.50 and she didn't realize it cost that much to go to school here? Do you know where you can find how much your tuition is when you register? You know that registration paper they give? Your tuition is right up there. Yeah. Right there, they
tuition that went up.
Yeah, everywhere. It went up like $10 for us. I think it's like $66.50 per semester out. But make sure you know what you were charged because your tuition is going to come out of your financial aid. If you're taking second session classes, you're not going to get paid for that second session classes until after it starts. They're not. Let's say you are taking. We get this a lot. You're taking only one class from January to March. Then you take your other 3, March until we get out, May. The first, you're not going to get a refund check at first, are you? Because you're just taking one class. And that one class, the financial aid you get for that one class is not enough to cover your $800 in tuition and your $700 in books. It goes against your account, but there's nothing there. But you got it. Then you get the rest of your financial aid after you start those classes. That's how that works. See, any of y'all had the second session classes before?
I had put in for one, but it wound up being a full session.
Okay. Well, that's how that works if you do take a second session class. So don't get upset. Oh, those are ones that start in March or in October. It's a abbreviated class. You know, a lot of students take that. I guess that way we can get students to take the classes that they need. You know, we have a limited amount of faculty and staff. We've got so many students. If you do it that way, you know, everybody may be getting, you know, they have offered a second session. So that's what that is, okay? All right, you got that in, you got your, you know, you've been awarded and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to apply for a loan, that is the last option, the very last option. You know, a lot of times students do actually really need this loan, but if you're staying home with your parents and you are getting full amount of pay, which means you get, you know, the $55.50, you know, and you get a scholarship or something.
How are you?
You really don't need a loan. You know, there's no sense out here. The cost of attendance out here is not that great. That's the benefit of going to community college. You can save money the first 2 years. A lot of our students are opting to get the full amount of loans they can get, and it actually hurts them because sometimes once you get that loan, we only can give you so much aid. If you are a dependent student, we can't give you no more than, let's say, $8,000 worth of aid. That's it. So if you got the $55.50 and you got a loan, you know, you got $8,000 worth of aid, you got $3,000 in loan, $5,000 of pay. If Mr. Jones over here wants to offer you the student services grant, he can't even give it to you because you have no more need. You've got the maximum amount of aid you can get. And we found out a lot this semester, students they can't even get free money because they get the loan money. You know? So I always say free trumps everything you got to pay back, you know. Even work study. Some students, they get work study and then they apply for the loan and they know they can get the loan and they will actually stop work study. So they don't go work study anymore because they can get loan money, you know, which is just ridiculous, you know.
It's instant gratification, but long-term problem.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, I got class.
All right.
All right.
So that's another problem that we have found out. Now, if you need a loan, we're not saying no, don't get one, but just think about that before you do. Think about the other options you have out there. You know, they have the Green Leaf. If you're in a nursing program, they have what nursing educational scholarship, and it's like a loan. It's like the teachers' fellows. It's like a prestigious loan. But like the nurses, if they work as a nurse in North Carolina for so many years, they don't have to pay it. You know, so that's one of the stipulations of getting that money. You know, there are things out there that can help you. Like so you have work, you have different grants out there. So just be aware of your options and make sure the loan is the last thing you do, not the first thing. Okay? We get a lot of students apply for loans who don't even go to school at James Brown. So that's something. You know, they come in and they don't even go to school. They're not even students. They're just applying. You know, so. But if you want to do that, you know, there are steps that you need to do, and we have them, most of you already know, we have them posted outside our door. There's a loan request form, and you follow directions up there what you need to do, you know. We'll also offer loan workshops to inform students of what's required to get the loan, your payments, you know. There's loan calculators where you can determine your payment. You can determine whether you are getting too much loan. And with the CFNC website, I love going to that website. It will ask you, what do you want to do when you graduate? What is your occupation going to be? You put that in. Then you put in the amount of loans that you're going to have when you graduate. You put that in, you just estimate amount. And then a traffic light comes up. Red light means you have taken out way too much money, you know, and you cannot afford to pay this back, you know, because your loan payment should not be no more than 15% of your income. Should be no more than 15% of your income.
That's a lot.
And that's a lot. It should be no more than that. But red means you absolutely are not going to be able to pay this back. You're going to have some real hard times. Yellow, that's a caution, means you are entering the territory where it's going to be hard for you. Green means it's okay, you should be able to afford this. But, you know, there's also different options that we talk about in our loan workshop. There's different payment options out there. So if the payments are too high for you, there's income-based payment plan, income contingent payment plan, or gradual income payment plan where it gradually goes up, you know, as your income goes up. So there's different options out there. There's absolutely positively no reason for anyone to go into default because there's so much out there to help you. Your loan servicer, that's the person you'll be contacting, not James Front, not Department Ed, is going to be your loan servicer. Those are the people you're going to be making payments to. Those are the people that are going to be contacting you when you're late. Those are the people who can change your payment date. I mean, you can tell them when you want your payment date, you know. If the 15th of the month isn't good for you, if you'd rather do it at the first of the month like I do, you know, that's what you do. You can do that. So there's different options. So when students go on default, you know, it's hard for me to do all woe is me. So that's a bunch of gobbledygook because there's some things that you can do. When you go default means that's 270 days of not making a payment. 270 days when you did not contact them. You know, I don't know any debt that you can have creditor that's going to allow you go 270 days and not to make a payment before they, you know, start, putting you in collection agency. Yeah, that's a long time. So there's things that you can do, okay? So we talked about the loans and all that kind of good stuff, but in order to receive financial aid, period, you got to be making satisfactory academic progress, and I know y'all probably heard me say this a million times. SAP is what we call it, okay? When you hear us talking about SAP, you know that means, you know, you're either doing what you're supposed to do or you having some problems. We run SAP in the financial aid office at the end of the semester. When the teachers submit your grades, we have to run SAP to make sure that you're making it. And if you're not making it, then we'll send you an email and let you know what your status is. You can have several statuses. You can be satisfactory, unsatisfactory. You can be maxed out 150%, or you can have a warning status. First of all, to receive financial aid, you're going to have a 2.0 or a 67% completion rate. Okay? And that's not asking too much, you know. A 2.0 is just rocking all C's. That's not asking much out of you at all. Just get all C's. If you do that, you know, you'll be okay. The 67% completion rate means all the classes, completion rate is all the classes that you have successfully completed divided by the total number of classes you have registered for. So every time you withdraw from a class, every time you fail a class, that hurts your completion rate. It drops, and you need to be at least 67%. So that means you need to pass, you know, most of your classes. When we say that you're satisfactory, your SAP status is satisfactory, that means you have a 2.0 GPA or a 67% completion rate. That means you're good. You're doing what you're supposed to. Now, your next status that I talked about was warning. That's the first semester you drop below a 2.0 or below a 67% completion rate or both. A lot of times those go hand in hand, you know. So, and that happens a lot too. Unsatisfactory is 2 back-to-back semesters of poor performance. Okay? Your first semester you had a 1.6 GPA, you're on probation, warning. Okay? The next semester you didn't do much better. The next semester, let's say you got a 1.8. Those are 2 semesters back-to-back of low GPA, which means now you're unsatisfactory. And you will not receive financial aid until you get your GPA back up. That's what that means. Warning, max 150%. I know y'all have heard me talk about this too. Max 150% is a time frame and also a number of hours, okay? What is your major? Early childhood. I think I got an example of that. Early childhood, you need 73 hours to graduate, right? Your maximum time frame is 73 times 150%. That means 110 hours. Once you take 110 hours, you will not be eligible for financial aid anymore until you graduate. Because if you took 110 hours, that is more than enough. That is to get you where you should be. You know, that's what I'm saying. So whatever your major is, you know, times the number, times 150%, you know, will give you the maximum number of credit hours that you can take, okay? That's what max out is. So if we send you an email and say warning max, that means you're getting close to it. You know, you may be at 100 hours or something, you're getting close to it. If we send you max out, that's it. We can't do anything for you until you graduate. Once you graduate, then, you know, if you want to come to school here again, you know, we'll be able to start over, you know, until you use up all your Pell eligibility anyway. So that's what the max out is. So if anybody starts talking about that, y'all be able to tell them what max out means, okay? On the next page, we did, this is an example of somebody's actual transcript, and this is their completion rate. And remember I told you, you can print out your own transcript from WebAdvisor and you can find out what your completion rate is, okay? This is their transcript. And you have to calculate all the hours that they have successfully completed. This student has successfully completed only 16 hours, but they have registered for 26 hours. So their completion rate is 61%, which means what? That's right. This person is going to be on probation, or have a warning status, because the first semester, not only the completion rate, did y'all just check out the GPA? 0.4. I told y'all I wasn't exaggerating when I said it was a 0.4 GPA. There's the 0.4, okay? And the next semester, the student did better, you know, C's and B's. And that semester, GPA was 2.7, but cumulative is what financial aid looks at. Cumulative, the GPA is a 1.6. Sometimes you can do so bad, so poorly that first semester, even if you do well the next semester, it's not good enough to bring your GPA up. That's why it's important to do what you're supposed to do. Do not withdraw if you don't need to. Do not just fail the class because you feel like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, I'll do better next semester. You might not get a chance to do, you know, to do better, you know. And it could take, sometimes I've seen it take people like 2 years to get their GPA up to a 2.0 so they can start back receiving financial aid, you know. So that's something else that you need to think about, okay? Just make sure you're here to do what you're supposed to do. Because we don't want you upset with us. I don't want y'all coming in financial aid office fussing at me over this, you know, so. And again, remember what I said, your GPA is cumulative. That means regardless of your current semester, even if you got all A's and a 4.0 this semester, your past semesters have an effect on that GPA. You know, that person, you know, he did pretty good that second semester. But just because of such a poor performance that first semester, it just wasn't enough to help, you know. Sometimes you can have something going on, and we understand that, you know, and it might be a special circumstance that caused you to have a poor performance. You know, life happens, we understand that. And we will take that into account. You know, there are appeals, and if you talk to the director, she's really nice and she will help you out if she can. But if you show that this is a pattern where you are, you know, constantly withdrawing or something is always going on, then that's something we got to look at. You know, we understand sometimes you got a medical condition or something, that's things we take into consideration. But if it's just always ongoing something, then that's something we're going to look at. Okay, on the next one, you can take this with you, but this will teach you how to figure your completion rate. This student, if you look at this, you only have to flip the page. You know this is going to be low. Their grade is W, F, F, D, W, 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 F, D, W, C, D. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that their completion rate is below 67%. I mean, I can just look at it and tell. It sounds like a web address, www. I mean, what is that really? You know, that lets me know this student didn't do anything when he or she decided to come. It's like she, you know, just didn't want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, the best thing is, don't be here, okay? Until you get your mind right and do what you're supposed to do, because there's no sense of you losing your aid in for this. you know.
Because 20 years later, you might really be serious.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to get A's.
You know, because this is cumulative, this is be waiting on you. Sometimes students will, I'll say, well, you're ineligible because your completion rate is 18%. What? I haven't been here since 2003. Way you left is the way you come back. If you were unsatisfactory when you left, you're gonna be unsatisfactory when you come back. You know, so the grades don't go anywhere. It just sits there and waits for you, okay? So, this person completion rate, when I got an answer on the next page, wow. This person registered for 40 classes, only successfully completed 14 credit hours. 14 credit hours out of 40. Their completion rate is 35%, you know. So, don't come in crying and stuff when it gets like this because, you know, you've had opportunity. Because really and truly, this person shouldn't even have financial aid. After the second semester, you shouldn't even have financial aid. You know, that's why I came here. And I wouldn't okay, GPA was 1 the first semester, 1.0. Okay, second semester withdrew from everything, and the one class that did keep it got an F in. So the GPA was a 0 that semester. Okay, next semester did better, made a D, but then withdrew from the class. So.
And did that the spring of 2010 brings up a point. My guess is that psychology professor just did not drop it.
Yeah, I bet y'all know who it was.
Yeah, I did too. And so what happens is they end up getting an F instead of a W. Now both of them, as far as financial aid goes, hurts them both ways.
Yeah.
But that
GPA.
F hurts you a lot worse than the W does, which is the GPA does. So if you're not coming to school, you better make sure you're dropped. You don't.
That's a great point. Even the first day of school, you register for your classes, and something happens and you never show up, you still need to withdraw. Go to the admissions office, get your withdrawal. Because what's going to happen, the teachers will actually keep you in that class until you have missed the maximum amount of days. And then they will withdraw you for attendance. But then you'll be responsible for paying up to that percent when they dropped you. Usually like 10%. You'll be responsible for paying 10% of your tuition and stuff. You'll be responsible for that. Because your financial aid is not going to cover it because you never showed up. Okay? So financial aid is going to be returned right back to the Department of Education. It goes back. You know, and you're going to be responsible for paying. That's why a lot of times we get students come in and they'll say, you know, I got a balance on my account of $500 and I didn't even come. And what happened was they didn't officially withdraw, you know, so you got to make sure you do that, you know. Just not coming is not good enough, okay? All right, max out 150%, we've already done that. This really, if you have 2 majors, if they are not closely related, like if you're early childhood and teacher associates, those are closely related majors, that's not really going to hurt you. But if you are early childhood and cosmetology, those are 2 different programs and hardly none of the classes are the same. But you only can have 1 primary major wherever you go. You only can have 1 primary major. And if your primary major is early childhood, what's happening? All those cosmetology classes that you're taking go against your early childhood. So you run the risk of maxing out really soon. And you could be in the middle of both of your majors and not get a degree because you've maxed out already. So most time I tell students if they're not closely related, I would not do it. I would not advise you taking, you know, 2 majors at a time. Do 1 at a time. You know, graduate from that major, then you can go ahead and start on that one if you want to. If they're closely related, that's great. Business, accounting, you know, office administration, business, those are closely related majors, so that's not going to hurt you. But if you are in 2 different paths, you know, for one thing, that tells me you're not really focused yet. You really don't know what you want to do, okay? Because not unless you're going to be doing children's hair, I don't see how the 2 of them are going to be related, you know? So you need to really think about what you want to do before you do it. Now also now you need to consider that lifetime Pell eligibility. Remember what we just said early. You only get equivalent of 6 years or 600%, and then you're not eligible for Pell anymore. So that means you got to really stay focused, decide what you want to do so that you can move on, because it'll be horrible for you to spend, you know, 4, 5, 6 years out here. Or let's say you spend, you know, 5 years out here, and then you decide, well, I think I'm going to go and get my bachelor's degree. That's great, but you're only going to be able to go for 1 year. before your Pell runs out, then it's gonna be coming out of your pocket. Then you talk about loans if you not have exceeded your loan limit, you know, so those are things that you need to really think about, okay? All right, we're doing the max out 150%. This is a transcript of a student who wanted to start this semester. She came in January to get registered and stuff. And she registered for her classes and she did it on registration day. Remember how I said I hate when people fill out their FAFSAs and stuff on registration day? This is what happens. We get you to sign our promissory note and we say the same thing. Okay, this is a promissory note. This will take care of your tuition bills for the day, but for any event we found you're ineligible for financial aid, you're responsible for the charges that occur today. I say that all day long on registration day. It's like, okay. So, she said okay. She signed a promissory note. She has charged her tuition. She's got her tuition and fees, and she's gone to the bookstore. She got a book. But then 2 days later, when I'm going through the stuff, I pull her transcript. And she wants to be, she's a criminal justice major. That's what she wants to do now. In order to, general education degree, that's her major. Okay. To the maximum number of hours you can take in the general ed degree is 96 hours. Okay, 96 hours. Starting in 1998, and you got to count the withdrawals and all that kind of stuff. I added them all up, and it came up to 96 on the nose. Okay, she has already maxed out of her general education degree that she wanted to start. So, because if you look at it, you can tell she was like criminal justice. You see criminology, criminal law, criminalistics. She was criminal justice, and she has maxed out because her grades were pretty good, but there was a couple of semesters where she withdrew from her classes and stuff. And down to the nose, when I added them up, it is 96 hours. And she never did get her degree because she stopped. She withdrew some. And that's what can happen, So coming in, she has already maxed out coming in, okay? So now she's responsible for all the charges, She has to come up with the $1,400, $1,500 for her to, go to school, or withdraw from school. But that's what can happen. So just be aware of your withdrawals and what you are actually doing and how it's going to affect you later on. So it was fine for her those years, but years later she decided to come back to front, and this is what she's facing. And it also can follow you, because a lot of you transfer to another college, your transcript transfers with you, okay? And basically all these classes that you have taken and anything that can be applied to that major, it just moves on over. And we'll count it up, and it's the same thing. They may not get all the classes, but let's say they only get 80 for classes. And then they say, well, you only can take 16 more hours before you max out. So it follows you. So just be a completer, be a finisher. Start what complete what you started, Just stay focused. You have your program sheets that they give you, your advisors give you. I always say take it just one semester at a time. Just knock it off. If you're having problems or anything, they have tutors here, before it gets that bad. There's people who can help you. Even let's say they don't have any current tutors. If you go to the academic support center, I bet you there is somebody there that can help you with something, So, because I used to work there, and I'm not an expert, but if they come in with problems with algebra or whatever, we'll be able to work it out, whatever it is. So just ask for help. That's all you got to do, okay?
Just remember, it's an investment. The government is investing in you that you're going to complete it, and if you're not showing them that you're going towards completing it, they're going to take it away.
That's right. Because I wouldn't want to put, $5,000 in somebody who's not going to do anything this year based on what they've already done, like that WWF, that one, that person's just not ready, was not ready. Maybe they are now, okay? And just remember, when you're notified of your SAP status, and I believe Brian and Pam, they notify people part of the student support service, don't you, like mid-semester of where they are and their grades and stuff. So you're aware. And we'll send you notifications as soon as the grades come in, and we, run our process to find out where you are. We send out emails to all students letting you know. And that's why it's important to check your email, because we get a lot of students who just don't know. So, well, I don't know, no one told me. And you say, well, email was sent to you. So check your email. Use your web advisor. Utilize the what you have out here. There is help out here for you if you need it. So, is there any particular questions anybody's got?
If you have WIA, does that affect any of the Pell Grant or?
It don't affect your Pell Grant, but it does affect the amount of other aid that you can get. Because on our award letter, you're supposed to, let us know if you're getting any kind of outside funding, source. Because we're only able to give you so much. If you're getting outside funding, we have to put that down. Now, here, Deborah Williams let us know all those who are receiving WIA. But we just recently had a problem where one student was getting it from Sampson County, and they never notified us. And this student got a lot of loans and stuff, And actually, it was funny. She was raising so much heck about her Pell and, all that kind of stuff. And she actually got a $200 refund the other week, right? Because she was fussing so much, and we had ended up digging and found out about the Sampson County. Now she owes like thousands of dollars, and she's supposed to be graduating in May. So you need to let us know. Just be honest. If you tell the truth and be honest and let us know, then we can put it in. But it does affect the amount of other source you get. You won't get your full Pell no matter what. Usually your WIA is like, $2,000 some dollars. Okay? So you won't be able, that's $2,000 less, let's say, scholarship or loan money that you'll be able to get. But, you're okay because your tuition and books are covered. That's what I'm saying. So the Pell is all yours. It's pure money in your pocket. Nothing comes out of that because your WIA is going to take care of everything else.
Your Pell will always cover the cost of James Brook.
Yeah.
It will cover the cost of James Brook. If you're taking out loans, it's because you're wanting to live off of that money. And you really shouldn't be going to school to live off of it.
And they're raising the interest rate on those loans too. July 1st, not let something happen. But it looks like it's going to go double. The subsidized loans is going to go from 3.4% to 6.8%. And I can imagine what the unsubsidized is going to be, because the unsubsidized is already 6.8%. So,
Now that increase, is that for students that are current students, or is that for also for students?
Ones, if they're taking out loans in the fall,
Right,
yeah.
okay. Ones that are taking out loans, they've already taken out loans in the past.
Yeah,
It's sad, right?
yeah. So that's something else that you need to think about. All right, is everybody good? Any more questions? I know you don't have anything, so all of them should be about good to go.
And
Okay.
he's doing good in school too.
That's
He's doing
right.
what he's supposed to, so.
Did everybody get one about the lifetime Pell eligibility? Group? Okay, that's the new law coming in effect. And you can go to NSLDS starting mid-July. I don't know the exact date. I read it, but I've already forgotten. I feel like July the 17th or something like that. But mid-July, go to NSLDS and you log on just like you do with your FAFSA and see what percentage you are. Okay? You just realize when you get up to 600%, that's it. That's equivalent to 6 years. It doesn't mean that 6 years of that and you won't get more aid. It's equivalent to 6 years. If you went to school full time for 6 years, yeah, that's it. But if you were part time, you're gonna be able to go to school a little bit more than 6 years.
And full-time is considered 24 hours a year? Is that-
Well, yeah, well, anything 12, well, 24 or more, yeah.
Well, yeah,
'cause,
24 or more,
yeah, that's full time. So, and it doesn't matter how much it is, so even if you just got awarded $3,000 in Pell, if you got $1,500 one semester, $1,500 other, that's your 100%. Whatever your Pell amount is, if you got all of it that year, that's 100%. So, make sure y'all graduate. Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Nikki.
You're
We
welcome.
thank you. And her final one is Monday at 12 o'clock. And we'll try to have a big crowd here that day since there's no classes.
right.
Since there's no classes during that time. Okay, Monday at 12 o'clock. She's done a fantastic job. Really, really.
And I think I did send out emails to everybody about the lifetime Pell eligibility. I think I did that Friday. Yeah, I did that Friday. And also, if you are graduating, anybody graduating in here? Okay. So don't worry about it. So do exit counseling. If you got loans, you gotta do exit counseling if you graduate. So, all right, y'all. Well, that is it.
Thank you. Let's give her a hand.
Aw, thank you.